Hi, Raquel.
Hey Christopher, how are you?
Hi, how are you doing?
I am good. Are you
Awesome.
something of a slower summer or no?
Am I what?
Is your summer a little bit slower than normal or no? Are you still going at the same speed?
I think, well, of course, the older I get, the quicker the days pass. Let's just say that. I wish it was the opposite. And when you're a kid, you want them to go fast, and then, and then it goes so slow. And then when you get to an adult, it's like, wait, slow down. I
Yeah.
wish it was the other way around. But for me, summer's going pretty good. Working from home, I'm inside most of the day. So I can go outside and get my 17 to 20 minutes of sun towards the end of the day, and then
Yes.
enjoy the evening. So,
That's great. I know. I got outside this morning because I'm in Tucson, so it was like 70 degrees. And it was just so perfect. But I was the same. I was like, I have to get my sunlight, my daily dose of sun.
absolutely. It does something. It's true. People think, why go outside even for 17 minutes? But it really does make a change.
Yep, it certainly does. It does. Are you from Arizona?
Um, I was born, yes, I was born in California, but raised in Arizona.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
But
Oh,
then I moved to Nebraska for 10 years to grow
okay.
up after high school. So, and then now I'm back.
Yeah, I grew up in Maine. And so it was literally like a cold day in January, and I hadn't seen the sun in forever. And that was when I decided I was moving to a warmer, sunnier place.
And you definitely did. It's a drastic.
Yeah. I couldn't have picked a place probably with more sun, but I love it. I love it here. It's definitely home now.
Me too.
Welcome, everybody. I think you see the slide. Just if you could take a chance to introduce yourself in the chat. And then I'm pulling double duty today, so I'm facilitating and I'm also running the Zoom behind the screen. So hopefully I do okay with all of this. Vico is not able to be here today, so please just be patient with me. And then we're going to give it a couple more minutes here before we get started. I am so happy to see so many people joining us. In the past, I don't think we've done a meeting in June. So I was a little bit nervous as to what today's attendance would be. So thank you guys so much for being here. Let's give it another minute. There's still some people popping on. For those that did just join, if you could just introduce yourself in the chat, that would be wonderful. There's my puppy in the background. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. I had Vico send out an email to let you guys all know today is going to be a short meeting, but obviously super important as we need to vote on our logo and run our elections. So it will be hopefully short and sweet for you guys, but we're going to get a lot accomplished. So this will be kind of a good way to finish us off before the summer break. So here's our agenda for today. So we'll start with the logo. We've got some great updates that Lauren had sent over. And then I'm going to just announce our awards for the PBHC annual awards that we run. And then finally, we will hold our elections and then do any announcements if anyone has anything that they would like to share. Okay, so Lauren, I'm going to have you take this away. We've got some new logos to look at, and I'll just kind of start it there for you.
Yeah, hello everybody. Okay, so I know it feels like it's been a hot minute since we met. So this was the original logo that we had that had the most votes from our last meeting. And then you guys provided some helpful feedback to see if we could take it back to our student graphic artist and see if she could provide some updates for us. So if you guys recall, some of the feedback was making the actual typeface of Pima Behavioral Health Coalition to make the font larger. Um, so you'll see in the slides to come that she certainly did that. And then you guys also had some great feedback in terms of where to position Pima Behavioral Health Coalition, as well as where to put the PBHC. So this is the original. And then I think perhaps we could just go through, Austin, thank you, the other versions. So there's actually 3 new versions if you guys are still with me. Here's the first one that incorporates our feedback. Here's the second one incorporating our feedback. And here's number 3, incorporating our feedback. So yeah, if you guys just want to kind of, we can, look through those maybe one more time. And then we'll have to vote again on the final. Raquel, am I missing anything? Does that all
Or
track?
not? No, that's
Okay.
great. Adrian has her hand up, so she may have a question here.
I was wondering if it was possible to put them all next to each other.
I
They're
mean, that had been nice
so
if I had done that ahead of time.
they're so similar, you know what I mean?
Yes, they are similar. I'm wondering, stand by for just a second. I'm gonna see.
While you're doing that, let me scroll through them
Okay.
again too. So this first
Great.
one, it's got PBHC at the top and then says the full name below. And then the second one says Pima Behavioral Health Coalition around the outer ring with PBHC in the middle. And then this one is the same. I think the only difference is the PBHC is a different color in the middle. So so that's number 3. Let me flip back to number 2 so you can look at that again. And then there's number 1 again.
Yeah, I don't have them all on the same. I don't have them all on the same slide. But yeah, the main differences, as Raquel pointed out, are the PBHC kind of front and center up top, or do we want it in the middle of the logo and have those words spread out? Wouldn't that be a great sticker?
Yes.
Picturing that on my water bottle.
Okay. So I have a poll for you guys to vote on 1, 2, or 3. but tell me, do you want to see them again one more time? Okay. Michael says yes. So here's number 1, number 2, and number 3. One more time. Let's do it again. Let's do it again, just for good measure, right? Here's number 1, number 2, number 3. And we have somebody just joining. So let me do it one more time for your sake, Heather. I want to make sure that you get a chance to vote on these. So, oops. We are looking at the logos. We have one logo with 3 different options that have been created for us. So here's the first logo. PBHC is at the top, and then it spells out our name below. Second logo with PBHC in the middle. I know it does feel like an eye exam. I totally it's like my eye doctor right now, and she's like, "Will you just tell me which one looks more clear?" And then there's number 3. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I see a bunch of you have made your decisions. I'm gonna launch a little poll for you, and you can select if you want logo 1, 2, or 3.
And there's great feedback in the comments if you guys need a little help. People have weighed in on some great feedback. So
Waiting on 2 more people. That's pretty good. You guys are pretty quick with your responses, and it's pretty clear cut which one wins. So I think
Could
we
you show them one more time? I'm sorry, it's the eye doctor thing. I'm just like, oh, what's the, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
3.
Let me see if I can scroll through these with my poll launched. Okay, here we go. There's number 1, number 2, and number 3.
Boy. Thank you. That helps to see him. What a thing. Wow.
Okay. Did everyone that wanted to vote get a chance? There's still 2 people I'm showing on my end that are left to vote. And I saw earlier somebody had stepped away from their screen. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end this poll. And I'm going to share the results. And number 2 wins by a large margin.
yay. We did it.
Oh,
We did it. So exciting. So here, let me show you guys. Keep going to that slide. There's number 2. So this is our new logo.
nice. Wow.
I love it.
Awesome.
Okay, and now I want to go to the actual slide that acknowledges who created this.
Oh, well done, Rain. Is it Rain?
I believe it's Rain, but I have not this has only been going on through, multiple emails, kind of playing telephone with her awesome teacher, Mike, over at JTED. So hopefully we can, maybe sit down with Rain in the future and just kind of learn a little bit more about her. I'm sure that would be, I don't know, I would love that. So, but we have her photo, face
Awesome.
the name, and to the design. So yeah.
That is awesome. That is awesome.
So cool. I love it.
Yeah, we will encourage her to put it in her portfolio and, help with all that workforce development stuff because this is pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff.
Very cool.
Yes,
Absolutely.
definitely. I love that idea, Chris, about a acknowledgement certificate or thank you card.
Yeah, and Lauren, you asked me to do some letters of recommendation for all of them, which I'm working on those, so I'll send them out. But I do also like the idea of a thank you card, and I don't even mind like dropping a little gift card in there for her.
Yeah.
Maybe if we could get a mailing address, and it's totally fine if it needs to go to JTED, that would be understandable.
Yeah.
I'd love to do that.
Yeah, that would be, I'm reading comments. Yeah, I'm happy to participate in that in any way. I love all of those ideas, and I'm sure that would, yeah, certainly yeah, be great feedback and make her feel great as well. I just know the only thing is it's just that it's summertime now in their world. So it just might be a little bit of a delay, I don't know if she's out of school and, I don't know what her story is, but I'm sure we'll be able to track her down. Oh, good. Stacy will find it for us. Awesome, Stacy. Thank
Okay.
you.
And Michael has a good point, not to collect student information, so let's go through the school, but, and that's fine if it, takes a little bit of time to get to her or whatever.
Yeah.
And maybe we could even email her and let her know that there's something, I don't know, at the school waiting for her or something like that. So,
Awesome.
okay, awesome.
Yay.
Very cool. Okay, so next, again, I feel like we're ending this meeting, this year on a good note. So I wanted to announce to you guys who the PBHC award winners are. Unfortunately, neither of them are here today, but I still want to acknowledge them and announce them. So they will receive this information after the fact. But our 2024 to 25 Youth Leader of the Year is Yazabel Jasso. I hope I'm saying her name correctly. And so I included
Isabella.
is it Isabella? Okay. I included some of the quotes from the survey in here. And so you guys can read them, but I'll just do like the first one. So as our Y Hat president, Isabella is so inspiring. She's a great leader and an amazing friend. From speaking at the panel to making the Y Hat meeting slides, I love her work ethic and welcoming attitude. And so what we did in the past is we had some trophies that were made up. We will do that again. And then at our next meeting in the fall, and whenever we meet in person, we'll present those trophies to Isabella. And then the next winner is for our PBHC Coalition Member of the Year. It
Sorry.
is Vico.
Yeah. Very well.
Hands down, it was Vico. So it's interesting, even with the logo, it was like you guys are all on the same page. And I feel like with the awards too, we were all on the same page. So I'll just read the first one. Vico has been the rock behind this coalition's efforts and is deeply deserving of this award. Vico goes above and beyond to support the coalition. The Youth Mental Health Summit was a huge success, and the effort Vico put into ensuring its success was unmatched. So unfortunately, Vico couldn't make it today. They had an appointment during this time that they couldn't reschedule, but we will be sure to let them know that they got the award. Okay, and so next is our steering committee elections for the upcoming year. I'm happy to say we have some great people running for the steering committee seats. And so how I'm going to do this is I'm going to let each person, we'll do this one at a time. I'll let each person kind of just speak a little bit about why they're running. And then I have a poll where we will vote that way. And so we'll do it for each one individually. And so as you guys all know, I've been chair for 2 years. I am stepping down this year, and I'm so excited to announce that Sarah Grado has accepted the nomination to run for chair. And I know, Sarah, you are driving, so just want to check to see if you have found a safe place to pull over so that you can kind of talk a little bit to the coalition about why you are interested in this position.
Yeah, so I apologize. Traffic is a little crazy today. I was not expecting this with school being out and the snowbirds being away, but it is still crazy today. Just a little bit about myself. I have been working in behavioral health for 15 years. I do have lived experience, and that's a big part of my passion for why I do this work. I am living in long-term recovery, and so working with teens and families and communities has been very close to my heart over the course of these 15 years. During my kind of like professional career, I have participated in many coalitions. Specifically, I was on the executive committee of the Tempe Coalition for a few years and played a part in a lot of development for that coalition. And I have a lot of experience in leadership and grant writing, grant management, budget management, and kind of just community organizing in general. So I was really excited for this opportunity to run for chair. I know Not My Kid, we've been expanding into Pima County for a couple of years and now providing services. But if there's another way that our organization can show up and support this coalition and everything that this coalition is doing, I know Danielle and I are happy to be a part of it.
Thank you, Sarah. And I should have mentioned, so Sarah is the new, right? New executive director of
Yeah.
Not My Kid, which is
Yeah.
so awesome. Okay, does anyone have any questions for Sarah?
What was the organization? I'm sorry, I missed it slightly, that Sarah is the new executive director.
Not My Kid.
Oh, Not My Kid. Okay. All right.
Okay, I am gonna go ahead.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I think this is just good for everyone to know Sarah. And I think for anyone who's interested in being involved next year. So Sarah, this past year we went through a strategic planning process with an outside consultant. And so now we are working off of a strategic plan. Could you share your experience in terms of project managing like adherence to a multi-year strategic plan, and how you engage work groups?
Yeah, absolutely. So we do strategic planning at Not My Kid too. We also hire an outside consultant. And so that is something that we do 3-year strategic plans, but we also go back each year and update it, especially in this climate. Sometimes it's hard to know exactly what 3 years is going to look like out. And so we do each year go back and update and revise. When it comes to engaging work groups, I think in my experience, it's been a lot of just supporting the work groups and making sure. And I feel like the cadence of meetings for this coalition is a little more frequent than some other coalitions do. And I think that that's awesome if that's what, if the community is needing that and looking for that in the work groups, if it calls for that level of frequency of engagement. I do think that it's, when it comes to the strategic plan, always kind of going back and making sure that that is driving every decision that we're making, and that every move that we make, whether it be, going after funding or doing a new program or activity in the community, that it is in alignment with the strategic plan. I do think that that's important. I'd be curious to see the strategic plan for this coalition and how I can support that, but it is something that I do have experience in doing.
And we will do an orientation as well. So we'll go over the strategic plan, and I have kind of like a little PowerPoint that talks about the coalition and just kind of get you up to speed on some of the things that have already occurred. So that way, when you're coming in, you'll be fully caught up on everything that this great coalition is doing.
I have another follow-up question. So you mentioned, Sarah, going after funding. Could you share? So I have to imagine you have experience in this way, but it might be good for the group to know. Could you share a little bit of your experience in terms of identifying and applying for, so writing grant applications for small organizations or small community groups?
Yes. So I have been doing grant writing and grant management for the past 6 years for my organization. For many of those years, I was the sole writer. So I was the one going out finding, writing, drafting, doing every part, getting the award, and then implementing the award. And so my success track is taking what used to be, Not My Kid used to be a very grassroots organization. We were, you know, maybe $1 million budget organization to an over $5 million budget organization over the course of a couple of years. And that included going after foundation grants, local grants, all the way up to county and state funding.
Thank you.
Any other questions for Sarah?
I have one more.
Okay.
Michael.
So I just think this is really good for folks, and it's a big move. Like, you know, frankly, Raquel was kind of the inaugural chair, and so how we make this transition is such an important step for the coalition. So I believe you're based in Pinal County, like your actual residence. But if ever we needed, because we do meet quarterly, will there be any challenges for you in terms of being able to meet geographically? In person?
Oh, that is a good question. I love all your questions, Michael. Um, it would not be. I travel for my job all the time. Like a lot of our programs and services are based in Phoenix. So being located in Pinal, I'm actually right in the middle. So it's the same distance of going to Phoenix than it is going to Pima County for me. So that would not be a barrier. I'm happy to come to Pima County and do in-person stuff when needed.
Good question.
Okay, I only have 20 more questions. I'm just kidding. Raquel, you can have the floor.
Michael, I promise this is going to be a quick meeting.
I know. I'm gonna mute
No,
now.
those are great questions. Those are great questions.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, it's important.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll. So as you will see when the poll comes up, you can vote yes, no, or you can abstain. And so some of you may want to abstain if, especially you haven't been involved much with the coalition. So please go ahead and complete that. Okay, it looks like there's a couple that haven't voted, but we had that earlier too. So I'm going to guess everyone that wanted to vote has voted. Let me go ahead and end the poll, and I'm going to share the results. And so, Sarah, I don't know if you can see the screen, but you have been selected to be the chair for this upcoming year.
Thank
So,
you, everybody.
yeah, thank you. So excited, and congratulations. Okay, so then the next person to run is myself. So I am running for vice chair. And, you know, one of the reasons why, obviously, you guys all know I love and am very invested in this coalition. But I've done it for 2 years, and I do feel deeply that because it is a community coalition, the leadership should change over and be run, you know, by the community. So that was my main reason for stepping back this year. It was really to allow somebody else with a fresh perspective to be able to come in. That being said, I am running for vice chair in part to also help with the transition, right? So that as Sarah comes on board, I'm still there to help to support and to, you know, give her whatever she would need for that type of support. In doing so, I'm also hoping that I can spend a little bit more time in one of the working groups. For those of you that know me well, I'm a worker. And so this has been a little bit of a challenging position for me to not be the one doing all of the things. So I really look forward to perhaps getting into some of the more detail-oriented, nitty-gritty kind of stuff. So with that, I wish to run for vice chair. Does anyone have any questions for me?
I have a question.
Yes.
I'm just curious, in terms of like from your time like before being chair and then throughout the last 2 years that you've been chair, 2 years? Is that
2
right?
years, yes, yep.
Holy moly,
I
my
know,
God.
time flies.
Uh,
Have fun.
can you just share like the number one thing that you've learned that you'll take forward into this new position? Like
Yeah,
from your experience with the coalition in various roles?
yeah, that's a really that's a great question. I think I learned a lot through the strategic planning process. I think that that was a very eye-opening process for me. I've been involved in strategic planning many times for many different organizations, but this one, we're brand new, so we were starting from complete scratch, right? And so I think the process that we went through for all of us, to kind of work together to clearly define our goals and kind of who we wanted to be as a coalition definitely helped to shape the way that I view strategic planning and also the way that I view the coalition. It was amazing because it also gave us an opportunity to really reflect on our members and how much everyone truly cares about this work. And so that was incredibly uplifting. And so, yes, as I move into vice chair, I am 100% committed to that strategic planning document and everything that we have come up with. I think we've made some really good leads into it this past year, and I really look forward to seeing how more we can implement the strategic plan. And I always go back to funding, funding, funding. So I think this coming year, finding those grants, we tried, obviously, we applied to a number of grants, but it will come eventually, and then getting the funding so that we can have more supports will be great.
Mhm.
Yes, Anne?
Well, given that you were just speaking about the strategic plan, and therefore I'm pretty sure you're quite familiar with it. And just thinking, about from all your information, all your involvement through the last 2 years, looking ahead at this next year, what's one aspect of that strategic plan that you think it's going to be really important for us to be focusing on and moving forward on?
Well, and I think this gets back to the funding piece, but in my mind, right, we're a coalition dedicated towards the youth. And so we have done some great things with the Youth Mental Health Summit. That has obviously really grown and been very successful. But when we start to look at other, coalition activities, I'd like to see us doing some more things that are geared towards the youth. And so again, it goes back to funding and capacity and such, but really finding additional ways to bring those youth to the table, additional avenues beyond the summit, the annual summit that we do.
Right.
I would say, in my opinion, although, Sarah will have a good say in that too, but in my opinion, I think that could be a good next step for us.
Great. That's exciting to hear, actually.
Okay.
Definitely in alignment with things that the prioritizing mental health and education is also concerned about in terms of highlighting and uplifting, youth voice.
Yes, I think so many of us on this coalition are. And I think it's amazing what we've put forward so far, just under volunteer positions and volunteer help. And it's going to be amazing to see what we can continue to do. All right, I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll for you guys to vote on me. So this is going to look very similar. It's a yes, no, or abstain for me as the vice chair. I'm assuming this is going to show up in the notes, but I'm also trying to take screenshots of the results just for us to have for documentation. Oh, we had 20 out of 21 this time, so that's great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll. And as you guys can see, you selected me as vice chair.
Mhm.
Yay. Thank you, everyone. All right, so next we have Danielle Flowers, who is running again for member at large.
Hello, everyone. Like she said, I'm Danielle. I'm from Not My Kid as well, so I'm really excited to have Sarah be coming into the mix because it's really important to us to support the communities that touch our lives. And for me personally, I spent a good chunk of my own youth in Tucson, so Pima is just really important to me in that way. It feels like a second home. And so when I was asked to try to get into Pima County and make connections there, Pima Behavioral Health Coalition was actually one of the first ones to actually reach back out, invite us in, help us to make partnerships. So it's just been really important in my life personally, just being in this coalition and being able to make these connections and have these relationships and really be a part of an experience that I've never had before. So being part of the strategic planning has been a really great experience for me as well. And I'd love to continue the work that we set down at that foundational level when we were creating that strategic plan. And I really would just like to see it through and see us become more like the coalition we were dreaming of when we created that plan. So I do think that we've made great strides, and I'm so proud of everything that we've done and all the hard work that we've been able to do in this past year. And I'm just looking forward to what we'll do in the future as well. Any questions for me? Oh, no questions. We're moving on.
Raquel's trying to cut me off.
Oop.
Oh, sorry. Did you have a
I'm just
question?
kidding.
I'm sorry, I didn't
No,
realize it was muted. I was like, any
I-
questions? And nobody said anything. So
Oh, no, we didn't hear you. You were muted. That's funny.
I'm so sorry.
That was
I
just
was like, I guess nobody
silence.
has any questions. Let's launch the poll. Did you
That's
have a
hilarious.
question, Michael?
Of course.
I didn't. Oh my gosh. Keeping it fun here.
I love it.
But now
I've
your poll is gone.
got a question.
Go ahead, Ann.
So Danielle, in this period of time that you've been involved with this coalition, what's one thing that stood out for you? That's just, about the coalition, a strength of the coalition that you want to build on, that you want to see strengthened even more this next year.
Yeah, so I think one of our biggest strengths that we have is just our willingness to collaborate, to understand that we're all doing this kind of same work. We all want to support youth, and making it easier for one another to do those things, creating partnerships, creating bridges to these resources and supports. So I think that's something that we do really well, and better than I've seen other coalitions that I've been in do it. And so it just feels more like we're on the same page.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, I want to make sure there's no other questions before I end the poll. I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and end the poll, and congratulations, you are member at large again for this year. Okay, and then the last person that last but not least that we have running for a seat is Adrienne Trees for member at large. Adrienne, do you want to speak a little bit on why you're interested in this position? And
Yeah, I didn't prepare a speech, so I apologize. I'm going to be very boring in my speech. I'm interested at member at large because it feels like I've been part of PBHC since even before it was PBHC, so I can't bring myself to go too far away.
you can't go.
I know. At the same time, I am a little over capacity, but I would love to be able to still help, and I still have a lot of energy. And as I said, I can't see myself not being a part of it. So, I've been, wow, Raquel and I have like started in the same work group years and years ago. It feels like 15 years ago, but it wasn't. So I really want to stay the course and make sure that, you know, the original intention and serving the youth and all of that good stuff is the foundation. And so that's why I would love to be a member at large.
All right, I'm not muted this time. Does anybody have questions for Adrian? All right, I'm hearing none, so I'm going to go ahead and launch the poll. All right, you guys know the drill. Go ahead and submit your answers. Okay, go ahead and end the poll. And then as you guys can see, Adrian is now member at large for the upcoming year. Congratulations, Adrian, and thank you. We didn't want to lose you. Yay.
Raquel,
Yes.
I have a question for you, Raquel. Are we going to be, are there any positions on the steering committee still vacant after these elections have been completed? I
So
can't remember how many we opened up.
yeah, so according to the bylaws, we have a chair, vice chair, and then up to 3 member at larges. So there could potentially still be a member at large if somebody was interested in running for that. And then as you guys will remember, Michael and Vico are on as the secretariat. So they will continue to be on the steering committee. Okay.
So I suppose what that means is if you are interested, feel free to email, I guess, technically, when do terms begin? Is it July 1st?
I don't know. When I got voted in, I was immediately the chair and started facilitating the meeting.
I remember
But that's
that.
because there wasn't a chair. So yes, probably July 1st is a good date.
And it sounds like that's probably something we'll amend our bylaws to reflect
Yeah.
now that we know.
Now that
First
we know.
transition, y'all.
Yep.
Cool. So I would say email Raquel then if you're interested. If these elections inspired you and you wish you saw your name up there today, there's still time.
Yes, we will always take you. It's never too late. All right. So I promised that this was going to be a short meeting. So let's do call to the audience. I do have a call to the audience slide for you guys. So Janine Bashir, our friend Janine, had sent me a slide to include. And so as many of you know, she's working right now to put together a report card for us to really evaluate and look at the first year strategic plan and the implementation around that. And so as part of that, she would like, and we would like to hear your thoughts on how this first year went. So this is just a heads up that you will all be receiving an email on June 12th to fill out that survey. It's going to be kind of a short window. Looks like it's going to close June 19th. So, please just take a few minutes to fill it out once it comes in, because it's going to really help us with that report card and looking at all of the data. Any other call to audience items? And yes.
Yeah, just let's see, two items. We sent out the announcement, thanks to Vico, who I think shared it with everybody, that There is a youth training coming up at the end of June for any youth involved in any of the organizations, any of the groups that are represented on this call, and then others that that are in our contact list. And that's a training for youth on how to run effective meetings, how to run engaging and productive meetings. It's going to be a virtual training that the Center for Community Mediation and Facilitation is doing. It's a 3-hour training, and it's virtual, so it's going to be on Zoom. And everybody hopefully has gotten the announcement. And if you've got youth involved in your organization and a youth leadership kind of a role, or a role where it's good that the youth gain skills so they can run their own meetings effectively, this is a perfect training for that. So we're hope that some of you will send in or register the youth that you've got that you would want to participate in this. And then the other thing is that it's Prioritizing Mental Health in Education Collaborative is going to be, speaking of strategic planning sessions, we're going to be holding 2 more strategic planning sessions this July so that we can update our strategic plan and have it in place for going through the 25-26 academic year that will be starting in August, obviously. So we'd like to also invite any members of this coalition to possibly participate. I know that Raquel and I think Adrienne are both on the contact list. I'd have to go and look again, but I know at least a couple of you are on the contact list, so that you would have gotten the email that just went out with a little poll to see how many people might be available. On the 2 dates in July, the first session is going to be a hybrid session in person as well as on Zoom. And then the second session will be completely on Zoom, virtual. And they're both going to be 4-hour sessions, and there'll be food involved as well for the in-person meeting for that first session that's happening. So again, just wanting to put the word out in case any of you, we kind of see that the work we're doing is very definitely connected with this coalition as well as the Community Prevention Coalition, both of those coalitions that are so focused on youth and mental health and substance misuse prevention. So just wanted to get the word out about that as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anne. Kate, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
I do, yes, please. I have 2 things as well. Our Diverse Voices in Prevention event is June 26th, and we have an amazing lineup of speakers as well as a youth panel talking about mental health. So please do register for that event. There are scholarships available. And then we have a youth needs assessment survey that we're trying to get in front of kids. So if any of you have groups of kids or lists of kids or kid networks that you want to send out the survey to, will you please put your email in the chat so I can send you the flyer with the QR code so they can be part of giving us important data for what their views are on their generation and the challenges and barriers, and also the hopes and dreams they have.
Kate, can you also send it to Biko, and then Biko could send it out to the coalition?
Yeah, I can. I sent out, well, yeah, I can.
Awesome. So you're getting some emails in there too, in the chat. And how
Oh,
long?
Stacy asked how long the survey's open. It's gonna be till the end of June.
Okay.
So just a few more weeks.
Great. Any other call to the audience items? Okay, so our next meeting, as you guys know, we take a little break in the summer. So our next meeting will be determined. I think what we need to do is in August to get the steering committee back together and then set up when the meeting schedule. So you guys will be hearing from us via email, and you'll also get some meeting invites for the meeting schedule. Again, we're going to have those in-person meetings every quarter, and then the remainder of the time we'll continue to use Zoom for our remote meetings. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful summer.
Thank you, Raquel.
Congrats, everyone.
And yes, Stacy, work groups can still work over the break. That's totally, we're not going to say no.
Huh.
I love this group. I just love it. All right.
Congrats
Thank
to
you,
our new
everyone. Have a
affiliate.
wonderful
Thank
summer.
you.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.